Excellent. Right triangle. Perfect. Right triangle. So, where the angle is facing, we're going to call this my opposite, right? Everybody should know that? Yes. This is my adjacent, and this is my what? Hypotenuse. Very good. And according to the rule, we know that, you know the rule, right? We all know the rules. But in trig, we're going to use some letters. The letters are going to go this way. We're going to call this guy my x, which kind of makes sense, right? You want to call this guy your x, right? And you want to call this guy your y, and you want to call this r. It makes sense. Doesn't it make sense? Your x-axis is x, correct? Your y-axis is your y, right? So, kind of those letters, okay? Normally, what you learn in Algebra 2 is A, B, and C. It doesn't matter where you put the A, it doesn't matter where you put the C, B, right? But here, it matters a little bit. We're going with the rule. Just a basic rule right now, right? You have a question? YR, radius. Radian, actually, is the radian. Radian. We're going to talk about that very soon. So, yes, theta. This? Yes. Theta. You know what? Yeah, very funny. Yeah, look at she's excited. Theta. Yeah. So it's theta, the Greek letter theta, right? So, we all know in geometry, we realize that sine theta is what? Opposite of what? For real? Okay, hypotenuse, right? Sine theta is opposite of a what? Hypotenuse, right? But what is the opposite? The opposite is your y, do you agree? So that would be y over what? R. You see that? Cosine theta is what? Adjacent over what? And what is adjacent? X over what? R. X over R. Very good. Hendrik. But I had you to serve. So, my tan is what? Opposite over what? Excellent. That would be y over what? Very good. Now, we're going to call this the 6 trig identities. The 6 trig identities. What we're about to create. See, everything we're about to do, we created together. So you see how we created it, right? When you created it, I'm not going to give you the formulas like that. You're going to create the formulas together. So you feel comfortable how we created the formulas, right? You agree? So you see the 6 trig identities, you just said opposite of adjacent hypotenuse, right? Which was a sine theta is equal to what? Y over 1. R, right? Agree? Cosine theta is equal to what? X over what? R. And tan theta is equal to what? Y over what? X. What of cosecant theta? You know what? Everyone knows cosecant theta is, right? We know it's we know what cosecant is, right? So we know the formula for SI is what? Sine, right? SINE, right? COS is what? TAN is what? Right? CSC is what? Cosecant, right? And SEC is what? Very good. And COT is what? So you can see the difference. You see the names, right? For those Algebra 2 students, that's for you. The pre-cal students, you already know that. Now, cosecant and secant, so cosecant and sine have a relationship together, right? You see that? The relationship is that cosecant is what? Hypotenuse over what? Opposite, right? So this one will be what? R over what? Y. Right? And then secant and sine, cosine have a relationship together, and that's what? R over what? X. And cotangent is what? And put a theta there. That'd be what? X over what?
You cannot put thetas?
You have to put something there. That is X theta, Y, doesn't matter. You have to put something. There has to be an angle there. Just writing cosecant and not, no angle, I have an issue with that. In trig, this R is equal to 1. Yes. This side is equal to 1. We'll explain why the deeper we're going to trig. For now, just accept that it's equal to 1. We'll explain why. Why is it equal to 1? Right? We'll explain that why. So, if r is equal to 1, right, ladies and gentlemen, if r is equal to 1, what do you think it means then? That means that wherever there's an r, right, I plug in what? 1. So that means this guy is equal to what? Y over 1, that's equal to what? So your sign is y in trig. For my pre-calc students, are you realizing that in your what? In your unit circle, right? You see why your sign is the y. And the cosine is the what? This is the reason why. For my algebra 2 students, you see that very soon. I know you were like, what the hell is going on? Just stay with me. Just stay with me a little bit. You get it. So r is equal to 1, right? So this be what? X over 1, and that'll give me what? X. Is that correct, everybody? And put this line in so I don't get confused. Then here, this be what? 1 over what? Y? Okay. And here, this be what? 1 over what? Okay, good. All right. Very good. Then, so, we know our 6 trig identities, right? Sine theta is opposite of a what? Hypotenuse. I just say, you know this, right? Okay. I just use the y and r to just what? Talk about it, right? Are you sure? Okay, let me write it again. 6 trig identities, right? So make sure you remember that. Sine theta, opposite of a what? Adjacent, right? Cosine theta is what? Hypotenuse. Thank you very much, hypotenuse. I'm having a bad day. Cosine theta is what? Adjacent of what? Tan theta is what? Say it again. And then cosecant theta. You flip it, so be what? Hypotenuse over what? Very smart. Agreed? Then secant will be what? Hypotenuse over what? Adjacent. And then tan will be what? Cotangent will be what? Adjacent over what? So these are the 6 trig identities, right? Here I just use the letters y and x for a reason, but these are the 6 trig identities you need to know. Are you with me? Okay, Hendrik, how are we going to develop this? Okay, there's something called also, can I clean this now? Okay, good. It's called your quotient identities. Your quotient what? Identities. What are your quotient identities? Let's come here. There are 2 quotient identities. The 2 quotient identities are this. It says that tan is y over x, right? And cotangent is x over y, right? But what did we say? What is sine? Sine is what? Y. Cosine is what? X. So this is the reason why tan theta, which is what? Y over x, is the same as what? Sine theta over what? Cosine what? Tan theta is sine over what? Cosine. Why is it sine over cosine? According to this rule right here, we just did right here, right? You created it. I didn't create it. You saw that, right? We said tan was what? Opposite of a what? But what was my opposite? That was my y over my what? Then we came here and said what? Sine was what? Cosine was what? Which means tan has to be what? Makes sense to you? We cool. Then we say cotangent is what? X over what? Y. So cotangent theta, x over y, is going to be what? Cosine over what? These are our quotient identities. 2 quotient identities. There are 2 of them. There's only 2 quotient identities. But does it make sense how it happens? Yes. You see that, right? Okay. The next one is called our 6 reciprocal. Identities. My African accent just came out from nowhere. So, reciprocal identities, we've done that already. We said sine is y, right? But what is cosecant? 1 over what? Right? Which means sine theta is 1 over what? Cosecant what? That means cosine theta is 1 over what? What? Secant what? Secant theta. And tangent theta is 1 over what? Agreed? Which on the other way will mean also cosecant theta will be what? 1 over what? Sine theta, right? Then secant will be what? 1 over what? Because this is your x, right? Then cotangent, right? Will be 1 over what? Tangent. So these are your 6 reciprocal identities. Is that cool? We have 6 trig identities, 2 quotient identities, and 6 reciprocal identities. So typically, my students in class have to memorize this. It's a must that they must memorize this. So